It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
It is Talking Racing now. I am Sean Stanley. He is Mr. Spencer O'Neill. How are we doing today, Spencer?
Killing it, man. Killing it.
Yep, looks like it. Sorry. Uh-oh. Full house.
Uh-oh. Yep. Got walked in on.
No, that's all
I got
good.
caught.
All good. That's beauty of live. Being live right here. It is Talking Racing now. It is the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel. And this week, we were at the Paperclip, the place with the hot dogs. And apparently they tried not to say it, and they did a very good job throughout. Not the broadcast, but when they were doing the lead-in, the pre-race, they were trying to see if they could get away from not saying the Paperclip and the hot dogs. And they did till the very end. And then, of course, then all hell breaks loose when the race starts. And, of course, I want to get to Martinsville one day just to get one of the fully loaded hot dogs. I don't know if I like it or not because I'm not big on coleslaw on a hot dog, but everything else sounds pretty damn good.
I want to go because it looks like there's not a bad seat.
Yeah, no. Now with the way they did that thing, man, but let me ask you this, man. I know we talk about and we're not really, we're still learning each other as far as what we the likes and everything.
Yeah.
For Martinsville, for you, is it an interesting race, or is it one of those that's kind of, I wouldn't say bad race, but it's just, it feels like the race never gets started. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So with the cautions, yeah, but I mean, I like banging. I like trading paint.
Mm-hmm.
So Martinsville is great for me. I'm a fan of Martinsville.
Yeah.
It's they haven't made a game in a while, but there was a NASCAR Heat once on the PlayStation 4, which I used to play about, 5 or 6 years ago. And Martinsville was always a disaster.
Yeah.
But in the game, you could kind of fly into the corner and like just push people out of the way. Obviously, you can't really do that in real life, but
It depends. We'll talk about
yeah,
that later.
we'll get to that. You're not supposed to. But yeah, no, I love Martinsville. I thought the races were very good. I understand the cautions, to varying degrees depending on which race we're looking at.
Yeah.
And I will say that I didn't like that some of the lap traffic just kind of got out of the way today, like over the weekend.
Yeah, but I
And
believe that was more of the guys that were 2-3 laps down.
I don't care.
Because when he got to John Hunter Nemechek talking the Cup race, he was racing him. He was racing him until he couldn't race him anymore. But the other guys, you're right, they just kind of up and out of the way. But they did it also for all of those guys that were coming. That's why I'm thinking those guys were they weren't racing to stay on the lead lap, so they got out of the way. And then especially since you heard the announcer say this in the morning at the thing, they were like, the word is respect.
Yeah.
In racing today. And maybe some of them took it a little bit too much. Like, look, I'm 6 laps down. I'm just going to slide on up and get out of the way. And it did. But when it got time to it, and again, it was one of those things to where it felt like every time the race started, you'd get a caution to kind of end it down till the very end. And there still was a caution kind of in the middle that, nobody really had to do green flag, like at the end there, you kind of went in and came out of the pits there. But to me, it felt more of the older style of Martinsville racing, if that makes sense. Because it's been a few years since Hamlin won. But when Hamlin won there, he did what he did in this race and dominated the race. He led 200 laps, and that's what he did when he won there. It wasn't like, okay, I win the shootout and we go. He would always lead a lot, and that's exactly what he did here. And look, Hamlin's my guy, so I was jumping up and down and going, ballistic and everything else there. But like, it felt like he's getting this style of racing back, which it felt like he lost when the next gen car came.
274.
Yeah.
274 laps.
Yeah. Out of, what was it, 400?
I think so. So the next closest guy was Chase Elliott with 40. And the next closest to that was Josh Berry. 40 with 2. Sorry. Chase Elliott had 42. And Josh Berry had 40 before, we had this battery issue thing, which.
What happened with the Penske cars?
I have no idea.
But it really wasn't the Penske cars. It was 2 cars. It was the 2 and then the one that works with.
It's the Wood brother.
Yeah,
it's the Wood brothers car. Yeah, it's Josh Berry.
Are those guys in the same facility? Like, are they broken up like Hendricks, where the 24 and the 48 are in one, the 5 and the 9 are in the other?
I imagine that they are, but it was definitely a Ford issue. I'll say that.
Yeah, but it was only those 2, right?
Yeah, it was only those 2.
Yeah.
I mean, Cendric ended up not finishing the race because they quote unquote ran out of batteries.
Yeah. When they said that, I was like, what?
Okay.
But I guess you don't go to the track thinking, I bet you next time they've got about 6 or 7 of them batteries on that truck.
Right.
But yeah, man, it was a decent.
But Denny dominated. I mean, he really did.
And that's one of the things where, like, I think, like, sometimes this race doesn't get what it deserves, because when somebody gets out in front and dominates the way he did, and again, the restarts were close, but then he would pull away. And Clint Boyer said it too when they were talking about, I think Bell running him down at the end there. He's like, no, I don't think he's going to run him down, because it feels like Hamlin's toying with them, because when Chase Elliott ran him down, once he got there, Danny just opened it up. And then you saw the same thing kind of happen with Bell, and then it just, I mean, I don't know what the difference was in this time, but Denny felt like he was going back to, he said they came in with a different approach than what they've been over the last few years, but he's won 6 times at this track. Like, why are you coming in with different get the win, and then come in with a different philosophy. Well, no, you can't really come in with a different philosophy in the other one because I think that's the last race. That's the last race of 8 that makes the final 4. I believe that, right? No, is it Darlington or is it Martinsville?
I'm
the
not
last
sure.
race right before Phoenix.
I don't know. We'd have to look.
Martinsville. I believe it's Martinsville. But then, but I guess, like, solidify your spot. If you win the Daytona 500, then you can come in and play and tinker. But, like, I feel like they just, I don't know. It always felt to me like there was always something with the Hamlin car where it's speeding. It's one bad pit stop. It's one thing that, like, right at the back, and it's always at key moments. It's not like the first 10 laps of the race and it happens. No, it's near the end to where now he's starting in the back of the field and he can't make his way through. And everything worked yesterday for him. And a lot of other Toyotas. Christopher Bell gets a good finish finally after a few, he had that great start and then he had a few bads, and now it felt like he found something this week, and we'll see if it continues. Again, it's very early in the year. The only thing that's great is when you get that win, because now at least, you're in the playoffs, forbidden, something crazy happens and you get 17 winners and then somebody doesn't make it. But I don't know. I liked the racing yesterday. I liked when, all the time when cars were getting in there and, fighting for position and things like that. Not necessarily the lead all the time, but second, third, and fourth was pretty good at the end there. Bubba Wallace comes in third. And again, it feels like he's Reddick this year. He's right there on the verge of winning, but he hasn't. But it's like he's racing pretty decent on all these tracks.
Yeah, so as far as Denny, it looked as though, he was dominating the race. It seemed as though he was just kind of casually driving around. He seems to have the track figured out better than most. It doesn't seem as though the constant shifting is a problem. It doesn't seem as though it's onerous or like he forgets it here or there. And, they don't talk about that with Martinsville, is the shifting back and forth and back and forth. It's 4 shifts in a lap. And just imagine remembering to shift every time, 4 times a lap. The laps are, 30, 35 seconds, something like that. And it's essential that you do it at the right time, at the right place, so that you can maximize your speed, maximize your slowdown, and then also save your tires and save your brakes. We saw a lot of people throughout the weekend riding around with bright red brakes, and those people were not maximizing what they could do on the shift. And at the end, I don't think any of them really did very well. I didn't see anybody like blow brakes out or anything.
Yeah, I didn't
which
see
I kept
that,
expecting,
yeah.
but I didn't see that.
For tires or something to start, and there was really no odd thing except for, I guess, SVG, but that was just the tire didn't get put on properly. But there wasn't like the last race where it was like every time there was like a tire or all these penalties. Like it just felt like a cleaner race. But maybe they just didn't focus on it, and I didn't really pay a lot of attention to it. I know they did discuss about Hamlin, his driving ability works for this track with the way he kind of rolls through the corners and saves tires. And Harvick, I know, was one of the guys like, I can never do that. That's not how I drive. And that's why I never finished great here. And when I did, it was because something happened and I was fortunate enough to be in the front. So, it goes a lot to the driving style. And when you saw this race play out, it was like, but you know what? I'm not going to lie to you, man. When there was like 5 laps left, I was like, there's going to be a damn caution.
Yeah, right.
I was waiting for it. I was just waiting for somebody to drive in. And there almost was at one point. I think it might have been a little bit more than 5 laps to go. Larson got stuck in like a 3. They went in the corner and Larson, they were 3. Yeah, they were 3 in. But then Larson kind of backed off. And then I was like, okay. All right. Whew, thank you. Thank you for that, Kyle, because I was like, man, this is going to come down and damn, it's going to be a green-white checker. And then all hell's going to break loose on that, So overall, surprises for you in this race.
Ross Chastain
Yeah.
raced really well. He was, 5, 6 the whole race. Really ran well with some of the other premier drivers. We haven't seen much from Ross Chastain this year, so it was nice to see him do well. I think he's a better driver than most people think he does. I know he wins some races here and there, but I really like him. I know he causes some problems, and I'm kind of
He
partial
rubs
to
people
that.
the wrong way, but man,
Eh.
Rubbin's racing, baby. Rubbin's
Yeah,
racing.
Rubbin's racing, exactly. And this is the place to do it.
Yeah.
I will say that as far as surprise, I thought Bubba did well, and I am starting to believe that maybe that's a function of some of the cautions, because we've talked about Bubba in the past, right? And Bubba gets out, and when he's got fresh tires, he's got fresh equipment, he can drive aggressively, he can do really well, right? We heard him after the race, and he was talking about, oh well, I didn't do well on my restarts. Okay, well, that may be true, but after that, you were able to kind of catch up and fend people off most of the day. A lot of the day, we saw Denny 1 and Bubba 2, and Bubba was kind of playing defense for Denny all day, keeping whoever the next person was back and back and back until Christian Bell got in front of him, and then he never really got that front line restart anymore. We saw people trying to take behind Bubba, try to get behind Denny. They were kind of doing the inside-outside lane all day, and they tried everything they could to figure out how to get past him, and it really wasn't until pretty late in the game that Christopher Bell was able to do it and maintain it. So I thought he raced really well, and those were kind of the two surprises for me.
Yeah, and for me, not really like surprised, but just like when I see names and I look in the top 10, Ryan Preece. He drove well, and they said his name a couple times up there, and I was like, okay, he's up there now. Let's see how it ends. And he stayed there, man. And again, this is one of those tracks to where you can get pushed out of the way, you can get bullied out of the way, and you see that car, and then Todd Gilliland, another one sitting at 10. I look at those guys because and look, man, you call me whatever, but I expect Ross Chastain to usually get in, a top 10 here and there. This track is good for him because it's beating and banging, and I feel like that's what he is. But again, what surprised me more about Bubba each time is the finishes are coming now. Like he's getting good finishes. And again, early in the season, I get it, and like you said, the cautions may be helping here. And that's one of the things that we discussed here is like, do we have to really throw? I get the stages, and I feel like you can still win stages, but why throw the caution? Let it keep running. Boom, you get the green, you get the points. The field, they know what the field was after that lap. They know the lap they want to get to. So why let's keep it rolling, and then, and then ultimately some strategy. Then you see what you got in drivers and what you got in pit crews. I mean, hell, if I know I've only got to do a 20-second pit stop to get my guy out in the top 10, and then the restart comes down to it, like I just don't feel like there's a lot of, again, I'm also the guy sitting here in a chair, talking about this when I'm not the one making the decisions up there or having to drive the car, but it just feels like it's stop and go. And I get the other cautions. You gotta throw a flag, a yellow when a car's sitting in the middle of turn 2 at Martinsville, excuse me. But like, man, I don't know what just happened there. Got hit by the. But so like, why do you have to stop the race every time? It's already divided up. Divide up. You can throw the little green checkered flag at lap when the leader comes through on lap 100. Boom, he gets his 10 points. Everybody gets their 9. We got to stop the race. We don't have to stop the race, man. Make them have to earn it, man. Like it just to me feels like, yeah, I mean, you're gonna have these guys. Like, it upsets me that Chase Elliott drives so bad the last couple times, because I feel like with those the Hendricks and the Joe Gibbs, and if you want to add 2311 in there and all that, to me, I feel like they should be up front all the time running, because all these damn cautions help them out. Like the smaller teams are the ones that, they don't have the engines for restarts and they fall behind, and then now they're trying to, or they stay out. Like those guys are the ones that stay out to lead a lap because, everybody else pitted or whatever. Like
they're pulling gimmicks, right?
Yeah, just let them race, man. Let it go back. Keep the stages. I understand the importance of that. I like the stage racing, but I don't think you need to throw a flag at the end of the stage and give everybody a chance to reset. No. That just this race never got started for that reason, because 100 laps in Martinsville is not a lot.
Right.
I mean, it's like maybe a half. If it went continuous, you'd probably have it done in a half hour, 45 minutes.
Right. Exactly.
Like, okay, let's go home. But it's like, I don't know, man. It just, to me, that's what irks me a little bit on these, because again, and this is looking at like the domination that Denny had. If they had to do green flag stops throughout, does it stay the same? Is there a mess up? Is there a hiccup? Is there a speeding penalty? That's a long ass pit road where a lot of mistakes, long pit road where mistakes can happen.
You lose 2 laps. 2 laps on a green flag pit stop at Martinsville.
Yeah. So then now, but again, everybody will cycle through on green. But then again, caution comes out. Now you're stuck on there on pit road. Again, I just feel like adds more to it. But I guess sometimes maybe the risk isn't worth the reward for NASCAR, because if you do that, and now every car, like the instance we just said, now boom, and every car gets 2 laps down, then the caution comes out, and now everybody's 2 laps down. What the hell are you going to do for the rest of the race?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always been a give and take. Forever there was none of the stages. The stages were something that was brought in to make the race more interesting for viewers, to break it up, to give potty breaks. It's like an adjustment, like the pitch clock in baseball, right? Does it make the game more? Does it make the game more interesting? Does it make the race more interesting? I think it does, but it definitely switches some of the things that like you're talking about, because that's the way it was always. It was, okay, we've got this many laps. We're going to stop when there's a caution, but there is no like we get to stop at track, or everyone stops at 100, and we all know it beforehand, so we know that we have to strategize. Like, how do we get to there? Can we save these tires? Do we stop in the middle of it? Can we get all the way? Okay, we've got like 20 laps left. Do I just like not pit because I think maybe everyone else will pit, and then I can like jump 20 spots, and hopefully they'll all pit again, because they don't want to go out there on tires that are been up for 20 laps, because they'll be worn and they'll get passed, and maybe we can just sort of like lose a couple of laps or a couple of spots playing defensively. And so there were 2 things I wanted to talk about. I hope I remember the second one, but the first one I got on the top of my head. Did you see the video of sort of the breakdown of the pin that keeps the tire in and why we keep having all these tires come off?
Yes.
So that seems like a tremendous flaw. I mean, one little pin, right? And like, I understand that it's strong, and when it's up, it keeps the tire in, but you just like you push it all the way in. If it lines up where the other hole is, like it just sort of comes right out. I mean, can we put 2 pins in? I don't.
Well, that, but also like, shouldn't there be a marking on the tire for the tire changer to know that, okay, it goes this way? Like, you're just guessing that it's on there, like, okay, I got it perfect. Oh wait, no, I didn't.
Right. How do you even know? Like, are they just happening to see like, oh, the pin's not down or the pin's covered? Like,
but the way that it showed on there was the pin could still be up and look like it's fine.
Right.
And then you drive off, and then it just comes off.
And if the tire isn't like, so the pin's up and it's got little holes, right? Or not little holes, little rivets. Yeah. Almost like the wheel of like a clock.
Yep.
And then if that little rivet matches up with where the pin is, like, you're in trouble. So I don't know. That seems like something that's going to be improved on.
Yeah, I mean,
but that explains so much as far as like why we've seen all these tires come off all year.
Yeah, but also it's to me seems like it's a team issue too, because again, put piece of tape on there, knowing, okay, this is how they have to be on there. They have to be big, even if it's like a little piece of green or a magic marker button. Okay, that's got to be lined up at 12 o'clock, and we're good. To me, that's a simple fix. As I say that sitting here, not doing any of the damn work or any of the other things, but to me, it feels like it's like the steering wheel. You put the so okay, there we go, that's straight. Why can't you do the same thing with the tires to know, okay, this has to be at the top.
Yeah. It seems possible.
And again, I'm speaking out of ignorance because I don't know if that's even going to help too. I don't know.
Or if they'd even let you put tape on it. I don't know. Maybe that violates a rule. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, even a marker. You know what? You're 100% right.
They have rules for everything. I don't know the
Yes,
rules.
they do. And they make it up as they go, apparently, too.
Yes, they do. The other thing, I forgot.
Oh, come on, man. I was sitting here like, all right, we got two things.
You know what? I did want to talk about one other person.
Okay.
So we talked about surprises. I missed one. Michael McDowell. So Michael McDowell, he raced pretty well. He was, 10 to 15 all day. He got a 12. I don't expect Michael McDowell to do well at these tracks. I expect him to do well at super speedways. That's what he's known for. But he hung in all day. He was on the lead lap all day. And, he came in with a respectable 12. And I thought he did really well for him. That was good.
Yeah, and here's some of the stats from the race was 3 hours, 5 minutes, 11 seconds. Margin of victory was 4.6 seconds. 10 caution flags for 86 laps. 9 lead changes among 6 drivers. Christopher Bell, Elliott. Bell took over again at 33. Then Barry led for about 40 laps. Logano led for about 15 laps. Bowman took the lead for about 15 laps. Chase Elliott then took over for about 30 laps. Hamlin then took over for about 210 laps on the first run. Bell looks like during the took the lead, and then Hamlin retook the lead on lap 327 and took it for the remainder of the race. And then, the average race speed. You want to know the race winning speed? Average speed of race winner.
Is that like a track time, or is that a
a mile per hour?
Okay, what is it?
68.17 miles per hour.
I love Martinsville. It
is an older track. It's flat. It's got the concrete, the pay. It's got everything you would want in there, I think. And again, it's Martinsville. It's Martinsville, man. Let's dive into. You want to do the bad or the ugly first?
Let's do the bad.
All right, the bad. We will talk a little bit about the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Daniel Hemrick gets his first ever truck win. And I love this. I love the truck race and the Xfinity race things, especially the one this week for the Xfinity race was near and dear to me. I love the one this year. But last night was the Boys and Girls Club of Blue Ridge 200.
That's right.
And Daniel Hemrick gets the win, and kind of felt bad for Heim. Again, it felt like he was one of those guys, and just something happens.
Yeah, and this one wasn't equipment. It was just, was he a restart and he got pushed, or I forget exactly what it was. He was able to race his way all the way back up to sixth.
Yeah.
But there was laps, and he led 149. Maybe, I think there's a restart, and we're maybe, I don't know, 10 laps to go, something like that, maybe 20, 30. And he gets spun and he gets knocked back to the end of the lead lap.
When him and Honeycutt hit together, and then it split his tire, and he spun out.
Oh, he cut his tire.
Yeah, he cut his tire because they kind of hit together when they were racing. And it was just one of those things where apparently he got maybe close to the muffler, and it was right on the thing. Because again, that beating and banging was going all night on other cars, and that didn't happen at that time. But then, again, it's one of those things to where, and look, kudos to Hemrick and all those guys that kept their trucks up there in position to win it. And Hemrick finally gets it in. Ankrum finished second, Jake Garcia third, Chandler Smith fourth, Ben Rhodes fifth. Of course, Corey Heim comes back for sixth. Andres Perez de Lara finished seventh. Raj Caruth, eighth. Stuart Friesen, ninth. And Lawless Allen. I always thought it was Alan Lawless. It's Lawless Allen finishes 10th. I've been saying that guy's name wrong all this time. I thought it was always Alan Wallace for some reason.
Raja Karuth.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching him all day.
Yeah, he races hard, but does it very clean. And he's one of those guys that's more of the iRacing, right? He kind of came from the iRacing, and then, I mean, he spent his time at tracks too. Don't get me wrong. I know he's worked on, like pits and done things and different things like that. So too, but yeah, I mean, he won in Vegas last year, and it hasn't seemed to have, like last year, I felt like he had a lot more top tens at the beginning than what it feels like he's had this year. And I could be 100% wrong, but it feels like he was doing, but this race may be that one that straightens him back out and get it going, get some, because all it is confidence, man, especially in like the trucks and the Xfinity, minus when you get the Cup guys there. A lot of these young guys are just, I mean, you got your Matt Craftons, you got your series veterans that are always there, but a lot of the younger guys, to me, feels like once they get that confidence that, you know what, I do belong here, then something clicks, man. Something clicks, and they're off.
Yeah, so how long do you think Corey Haim's in trucks only? Or in trucks? I don't think he's going to be there much longer.
No, not at all. He's already signed a 2311.
Right.
Cup, I have a feeling he's up there a lot quicker than...
Like next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would not be... I know he's racing in his Xfinity too, right? Or
he is.
Is he a part-timer, though, or is he... Who's he driving?
I haven't figured that out if he was a part-timer or if he's full-time or not.
Because I wouldn't be interested. I'd be interested to see if Joe Gibbs Racing, no, they can't do it now, right? 2311 couldn't start a Xfinity program just to throw him in a car to prepare for Cup, right? That has to be done before the season starts. The charter's got to be there, right? I'm guessing. Like, you can't just show up and be like, "Hey, 2311's got an Xfinity Series guy."
Well, I think you can. I think you can race your way in. I thought you've always been able to race your way in.
So then
you pay. I think you pay an entry fee. Like, people race their way into Daytona every year.
Well, no, yeah. I mean, I know the smaller teams. Yeah, you pay for one race, or
and
the race you think you can be. You got sponsorship for and things like that. But I wouldn't be surprised. I guess maybe to see. Maybe why not? What do you got to lose? Get a chassis from Joe Gibbs, make it a 2311 car, and have Haim start driving some more Xfinity. Get him more seat time in there to get more used to the Cup.
Well, 2311, they've got 2 cars?
3.
So it's Bubba, it's Reddick, and who?
Herbst.
Okay.
I believe it's the 32. I think
okay.
It's Arizona, or 35.
Yeah.
And then Haim has signed a developmental deal, but that dude looks developed already.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to tell you, my man. He's got the trucks figured out. It's just, and again, I don't know if it's necessarily him over, like at Martinsville. Was it him being too aggressive that caused the issue? What were the issues with the batteries, the electrical issues? Is there anything he's doing? Is it is it the equipment? That I don't know. So I don't know if maybe, again, he thinks he's hitting a button or hitting something, hits the wrong thing and shuts the car off. I don't know if any of that's been his, but dude's proven he can drive, man. He's up front.
Well, I think we see that with the trucks quite a bit, is them cutting each other down when they bang a little bit, because that fender or whatever around the tire, like it's kind of sharp. It kind of sticks out. And I mean, if you get them in the right way, you can cut them down.
Yeah, their bodies remind me more of the old Cup cars.
Mm-hmm.
When they used to, the sheet metal would come off, and whereas for me, the Xfinity cars seem to take a bigger pounding and stay better than what the Cup cars used to do. Now the next gen car seems to be so far taking a pretty good beating. Actually, it depends on the race too, like what races, because you see in Martinsville, you saw Larson at Homestead, like those cars took beatings. I mean, you saw Hamlin's car.
Yeah,
the front end was up underneath. It's just beat dirty, and and it withstood. So I don't know what the difference is with the Xfinity car there. And then Haim won the first 2 stages, led 149 at 200, And then the restart of lap one, so about 34 laps to go
Yep.
was when he lost that. And then after that, it was Ankrum, it was Hemrick, and Hemrick ends up pulling to the victory and able to do his backflip in his first. I guess he's won now in every series, I believe. Or no, I don't think he's won a cup. I don't think he's won.
He busted a backflip. I didn't watch I didn't see that part.
Yeah, he hit the back from the top of the truck.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good. It was a nice backflip, actually.
You know, landing a backflip off your truck at Martinsville seems smart. It's relatively flat.
Yeah, it's flat. You don't have to worry about Carl Edwards always did it smart too, because he would go toward the infield, I think, at every racetrack, and then he would do his flip. He wasn't trying to flip up on the banks or any of them things there.
Yeah, you go to Daytona, and even though you're in this the straightaway, the bank is you're trying to walk up it, and you're like, okay.
It's funny, man. Every once in a while, one of the Pocket or one of those Gluck or any of those, they'll take their phone or something and just shoot like a picture up, and it's just like, damn.
Yeah.
Things just doop, straight up, man. All right, you ready to get into the ugly?
Yeah, you'll have to carry most of this one. I saw the drama at the end, but I missed this race. I had some family over on Saturday.
All right, then this will be a pretty short one because I've watched in and out. It was the U.S. Marine Corps 250, baby. And it was Ray Childress's 100th win in the series. And it earned Austin Hill a $100,000 dash for cash bonus. And it was just so many cautions. 14 cautions, 104 laps. It was a 250 lap race, I believe. It was the Marine Corps 250 laps. So 104, almost half of the race was caution laps. It's just to give you an idea there. I mean, that's kind of the way this was. And the big story was basically with, going down in toward the last corner, basically, Sammy Smith pulled a damn Ross Chastain, except he wasn't on the outside of the fence going around. No, he was going to go around the inside. And he just took out everybody, basically, man. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
And then he was like, well, they got no respect for me. He was flipping me off on the red flag. He swore at me, it was uncalled for. He said, I'm proud of it, but he would have done the same thing. And that's what I told him. And bro, when you have Cup guys, Dale Jr. and Denny Hamlin and all these other guys saying that's garbage.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm the guy saying, let this shit race, man. Let them fight. Let's go back to the old mentality of let them police themselves. As long as they're not out there trying to hit each other. But again, this is where, there's that thin line because you got cars that you can use as weapons now. And now you get to Talladega and you hook somebody and, it's that's the problem to where now with the speeds they get, people are going to get injured seriously. But to this, and I liked what Clint Boyer said. He's like, if they want them to have respect, they need to pull the security guards away.
Yep.
Because again, if you're going to get protected, I'm a big man. I got my team. I got my boy, my big tire changer right here. Yeah, talk to you. Okay, yeah. And then, the guy's going to step in and have your back. Man, at some point, they just got to let these guys go, man.
Yeah, well, it's
hold the team's out, security guard team back away. Let the drivers talk and fight. Go.
Well, things are different now, right? We have cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
So in older times, we'd hear about people fighting, but you wouldn't see it. Yeah. We didn't see fist fights. We heard about them. The only time we saw them was when they were out in the track.
Yeah.
And
they did an interview and they got a black eye all of a sudden.
Right. Yeah. And I don't remember the last sort of quasi fight we've seen out in the track since Bubba and Noah Gregson, maybe. I feel like there was a couple in the trucks, but nothing crazy. But yeah, right. And but now, we see them fighting in the back. They wait for each other, and it gets on social media, and then it's out, and there's no hiding it. So yeah, I'm not surprised. But yeah, no, if get social media out of there and let them fight. Let them police themselves. Because you know
at
what?
some point,
You're only
I'm
going
not
to.
saying police themselves with cars, and because ultimately on the track, they're going to end up taking each other out too.
Right, but you're only going to
You know?
dive into the corner like that once or twice once you've eaten a knuckle sandwich.
Yeah, he was
Right?
3 cars behind and dove in, man.
Right.
3 car links, like not even, and just nailed them, just sent them flying, man. Like,
so do we know what the penalty is for that yet?
supposedly tomorrow, Tuesday, is when when penalties get handed out, and everybody thinks he's gonna get. But again, it goes back to like when that happened, then put him at the end of the race. Right now, he scored as 5th place. Sam Mayer is 5th place right now.
I thought it was Smith.
I'm sorry, Sammy Smith. Yeah, I'm sorry. 10th.
All right.
Sorry, 10th.
So in points, he's 6th. Sammy Smith is of the 8 cars, 215 points, 53 points behind.
You know what's funny is Dale
The
Jr.
leader.
even said that's one of his cars, isn't it?
I'm not sure whose car that is,
I
but
believe that's a JRM car, the 8. I believe
Yeah.
it's the Junior Motorsports car.
I mean, give him the Austin Cindric treatment and penalize him 100 points. Put him back in 25th place.
Yeah.
Figure it out. You better win.
And he's pissed off so many people. I don't know anybody that's going to let him win.
Right.
I mean, dude, at that track,
You better run away.
there were people lined up waiting to talk to him. I mean, you had Jeb Burton, Harris. I mean, like, there was just like lines of people just waiting all. So it's not like you just raced one guy bad. Like, everybody's sitting there waiting to talk to you. Sometimes you just got to look at yourself and say, oh, maybe it's me.
What's the common denominator in this situation? Yeah.
Like, man, it's one of those things where like sometimes I just feel like, I don't know, man. It is one of those things to where I wish it was the old ways, but I also understand that it can't be that way now. Because again, you're talking about, but again, this is also maybe this is the way it needs to go. Because then owners would get involved and be like, quit tearing up my goddamn equipment.
Yeah.
Then people start losing jobs. So maybe ultimately that's the way it needs to get to. You know, again, I hate to say it, but at some point it's like, okay, when do we say, okay, maybe this guy's not equipped to drive? And I'm not talking about Sammy Smith. I believe.
Yeah,
like,
Sammy Smith's pretty good. He'll figure it out.
Times I've heard this name mentioned along this, but there's a lot of guys that names are every week causing something or at least, perceived. And again, maybe a lot of it is perception. Maybe they're not driving as, the way, because I remember during the Cup race, there was something that happened and everybody's like, oh, it's him again. It's him again. And then it ended up being the guy behind him actually, hit him and sent him flying into the other car in one of the corners. And it wasn't him that was driving bad. So sometimes you get labeled. You do. I understand that as well.
And I forget what race it was. Hocevar was getting labeled. Atlanta, maybe?
I think it was Atlanta because that was the one where everybody was waiting for him too.
Yeah.
They had that whole thing of everybody just waiting to talk to him. So, and again, it's hard because I sit here and I watch it and I was like, but when you look at it and you look at it from the point of like, when is enough enough? I mean, you got these guys. I believe he was involved in 4 incidents, Sammy Smith, on this race. So is it rough racing? Is it him being aggressive and the other guys, again, because at Martinsville, you're going to get hit.
Yeah.
You're going to get pushed up. If you think that everybody's just going to be sitting behind you and you're looking for a blinker, buddy, that's not happening. I'm sorry to tell you. They're going to hit you and they're going to hit you and they're going to hit you. And it's up to you to be like, okay, you know what? This guy's got more than I got. I'm going to let him go, or you're going to race him. And then ultimately, after 10 or 15 laps of that, they're probably going to get a little tired and be like, all right, this is the last time I'm hitting you.
So I think I saw like a little bit of the race, and if I remember correctly, the Xfinity cars, they seem to crumple in the front a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
So Martinsville, you saw a lot of them like they started to have backing off because they had a little damage. You see them kind of bend up in the front. And I think you heard at one point in time, it's like, all right, well, you're done. You can't use that side of your car anymore. You better figure it out. And, there could be something with that. Now, as far as getting in 4 accidents at Martinsville, without seeing the whole thing, I don't know if that's outlandish or not. I mean, that seems like it could happen very easily. It also seems like a lot, but I just know what I saw on the last one and on the replay. And that leads me to believe that, tempers are flying because it's a very hard race to go around for that long. You can't go fast. You can't get around people. You're constantly frustrated. You're constantly getting hit. You're constantly shifting. You're constantly trying to watch your tire, and you're constantly having to figure out whether, if there's too much rubber in the corner, like, do I have to move this line? And if you move this line, am I going to get pushed out? And if I get pushed, like, it's a lot. So it's not uncommon for emotions to get high at Martinsville. I'm not surprised that it did. I'm not surprised that there was no fight, but a quasi could have been a fight. And I am surprised the way he blew into that corner, though. That screams frustration to me.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to look at the stats here of the cautions.
Yeah, so while you're doing that, you were saying there was like 84 laps at the Cup Series race that had caution, right?
Yeah, out of 400.
Right, so out of 400. So we're talking about 18%, something like that. Maybe 20.
Yep.
120-ish out of 250. I mean, that's 50%. That's literally half the race. And then you add in 2 stops for 2 different stages. I mean, that is so slow.
Yeah, and Sammy Smith does drive for Junior.
Okay.
And he said, again, they said that, but again, it's one of those things to where, again, here's some of the things I would say. The sanctioning body needs to get involved a little bit and step in on egregious things. This is from Denny Hamlin. I think it's continued to ramp up, right? We've seen this stuff. It used to only happen on green, white checkers. Then this place, it seemed like inside 20 laps to go, people would lose their minds. Those guys yesterday's did it with 50 to go, absolutely just creaming each other. It was horrible driving by most of the people out there. It's just not a good look.
Yeah.
It's like, and then like, here's the other thing too. Like, it's like, this was what Sammy Smith said afterwards. I'm not proud of what I did. I know everybody's going to be mad and upset at me and say I'm a dirty driver, but I don't care because everybody does it. And if I was just going to accept it and finish second today, then that just wasn't going to sit well with me.
Okay, then pass him normally.
Like I just,
you're at a racetrack where you've got to get down to like 60, 65 miles per hour into the corner. It's real easy to catch up from 3-4 car lengths when they have to slow down and smash into the guy in front of you. That's cheap. You had no intention of going around that corner. You knew he was going to slow you down. Like, no, that's not racing.
Yeah, and then, Smith drives for Junior Motorsports, and co-owner Dale Earnhardt Jr. posted on X after several of the wrecks before the last lap debacle, which his driver was involved in, that the race was not up to standards. This racetrack is historic in the grand scheme of all things NASCAR and deserves better. And then his driver goes, after that tweet is sent out, goes and causes the most egregious thing of the whole day.
Yeah, it aged like poor, like old milk, right? Yeah. Obviously, he didn't know that was going to happen.
I would love to go back. I wish they had like an NFL films type thing, like all 32 or all 22, all 22. I'm sorry, all 22, because it takes a look of everything, and you could put it on like one car. Because I would like to follow the 8 and see, was he getting, beat and banged like you're saying? Because it does sound frustration, and I don't remember Sammy Smith being that guy.
Yeah,
I don't remember seeing that way. But it's like the fact that you just sit there and say, I'm not proud of what I did, but I did what I wanted. I did what I thought I had to do to win. I mean, even the guys like Mike Joy and them were just like, yesterday night thing was just like, hey, he thought he did right. And he added to it is what he said. I think he said, and then he piled on because he thought
that sounds like a culture issue, right? Like that's a culture issue.
Man,
that's something that these guys have become accustomed to being able to do.
Yeah.
And it's not exactly clear where the line is, but it's very clear that that's over the line.
Yeah, and then so Jeremy Clements, who's in the series, he's been around for a while. I don't know if he's necessarily a veteran like a Crafton or anything, but I feel like I've heard Jeremy Clements' name a lot. He says, really disappointing the lack of respect on the track tonight. It's a disgrace to this great series. Not many out there raced without just running into the guy in front of them. Not sure what we do to clean it up, but something must be done. Then Austin Hill, who won, said, everybody is beating everybody's doors off. We're just running into each other. I had so much front end damage, rear damage by the end of the race. It's just comical to see how much we destroy our race cars. And that's the guy that won the race.
Right.
I mean, but also it goes to it was interesting because like Kyle Petty, and you probably saw it. It was like the one piece that they pulled off of Kevin Harvick's thing where he's like, these guys aren't taught respect.
Yeah.
You're not taught how to, how to race anymore. They're just really, I guess, taught to win.
Yeah, I think I saw that on the countdown on Sunday before the Cup Series race.
He said that's what I think some of the problem is. And when you look at things like that, but then it's not an issue in the truck series, and those guys are younger than, because you go trucks to Xfinity. Right. It's not an issue there. So where's the disconnect? In a way, I mean, in the series, it's like, okay, because the trucks didn't race that way. And some of those guys in trucks are racing in Xfinity. Sanchez and Heim and those guys. And you get up here and it's like, I don't know, man. Chris Lambert said, now's the time for the competition execs that are in NASCAR Tower every week to set an example. Sammy Smith willfully admitted that the carnage he caused on track was his plan.
It was pretty obvious.
Even Mark Martin. It's a damn shame NASCAR has been put in this situation. They should not have to police this. It hurts the sport to have to be the police of on-track ethics and hurts it if they don't. I'm critical of NASCAR for some things, but this is a no-win for them.
I don't know. It seems like a win. It seems like a pretty easy win. I disagree with that. Whatever the punishment is, I think to give him some sort of punishment which is severe enough where it makes him essentially where he needs to win or he's out, is at a very minimum enough, if not missing races.
Yeah.
So,
jeez, I'm watching highlights. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I'm watching this right now, okay? And this is, I don't want to see a thing up here on the thing. This car on the straightaway, before they get to the corner, the number 4 plows the 26 into the corner, pushing the 16 up and out of the way.
Right.
On the straightaway.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, man, I'm going to have to start watching a lot of these a lot closer to what I see. Because again, it's like there now the one gets spun out right in front of the 2. Like, it's just crazy. That was a 5-lap difference between the 2 penalties, the two cautions.
It's also like they're not going as fast there.
No.
So I feel, and I don't know, this may just be complete bogus, but you're only going 60, maybe 100, 110 if you can get to it in the straightaway. Like you're used to going 160, 170, and maybe they just feel more comfortable smashing.
Like, good God, man. I'm watching this one. They're coming out of the corner. Coming out of the corner, Spencer. And he hooks them. And just turns them, man. Like, and it was Sam Mayer. It was Sam Mayer. He's driving the 4. Sam Mayer's the one that's doing a lot of this that I see.
Yeah.
He hooks the 16, spins him into the 10, into the 48. They take out the 11 on the straightaway, coming out of turn 4, I think it was. I think that's going back toward the start-finish line. And it's just like, he just stays, like, I mean, he took him up off his wheels. He hooked him so much. Like, oh, I mean, again, now the problem's going to be for Sam Smith is if he was the one getting beat the whole race, and then he finally gets frustrated and boom, you did the most egregious thing. And you're going to get caught for it. And everybody else is probably going to, you know, get the warnings and he's going to end up getting the whole thing. If that's the reason that, you know, it fell to what it became here.
Well, we know that they've made a stance as far as hooking.
Yes.
So at a minimum, you would expect that hook move may cause a penalty as well.
Hopefully they go back through it. And I got to believe with everything that happened in this race, they're going to go back through this with a fine-tooth comb.
Probably.
And you're going to get a lot of penalties coming out of this race, I believe. Just because they need to bring it back. They need to wrangle it back in.
Yeah, you got to clean it up.
Yeah, you've got to clean this up instead of, I mean, what? Now next week they're going to
Darlington.
Darlington. So, like, they might not finish that race.
Yes.
We might still be like Tuesday.
Darlington's tight. Which is funny because you look at Darlington, it doesn't seem tight because there's so much, you know, track, but most of the track isn't usable. It's crazy. It's tight.
Yeah. It's just, I'm watching, this is 9 minutes and 45 seconds of just destruction. It's just crazy to me that. See, the 8 and the Allgaier were right against each other. And then, like, man, dude. They just showed the big takeout on the last lap. And it's just, I don't see what he was thinking.
He was thinking, I'm going to get that guy out of my way.
Yeah, but he was racing with Allgaier.
Yeah.
And then it looks like he's like a little bit wobbly from that. Like, you know, like it took the air off of him. And then he just floors it trying to get to the corner. Like, again, I'm not a driver. I don't do this professionally. I just talk about him and make fun of him. But
when you know something's there and you don't have to slow down, you can slam into the corner like that.
Yeah, but I mean, he took out the whole field behind him. The only reason Austin Hill got through is because he was sitting in 6th when everything else happened in front of him, and he was able to take the lower.
Yeah,
and got through.
Got a William Byron one.
All he did was get around that last corner and down the straightaway. That's all he had to do. They officially have him as leading one lap, but he really didn't let it corner.
Yeah, he let a corner in half of a straightaway.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, I hopefully they go through this the fine-tooth comb, and I do think the 8 should get hammered. But watching back just the highlights I didn't even watch back the whole thing, but there was at least 2 or 3 other ones to me that should get at least something for the hooking and the different things that was going on there. So, and that's what you got to do, because if you don't do it, then you better let them start throwing fists. Don't even throw security down there. Keep the teams. You stay your asses in the wells. You do your jobs. Let the racers talk, and then we find out who wants to act big and who doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's very simple when I got a 320-pound tire guy standing behind me to be like, do something.
Yeah.
Or when I know I've got people between us. Oh, you big now. Like, bro, like, come on, man. Like, that's what frustrates me. The keyboard tough guys.
We need a fight bus.
Yeah, you know what? Seriously, put them in a fucking underneath the grandstands and build a room.
A padded bus.
Two
Yeah,
guys
padded
there.
bus.
You knock when you're done, and we'll let you out. We don't even need to know what happens, man. All right, Spitz, let them know how they can get a hold of you, man.
All right, so 2 things. First off, told my dad I would show this. So I know we weren't technically in Tennessee or Florida, but in favor of the Florida Gators winning.
Okay.
So it's got a signature on it, which is funny to him. Probably not funny to anybody else because you can't read it. But it's from a driver, Sterling Marlin.
Oh, nice little Sterling Marlin. Wow.
So I got this hat when I was a kid, and I got him to sign it in Homestead. And back then, Sterling Marlin was driving the 4.
The 4?
The Kodak. The 4 car.
Wow.
The Kodak.
I remember, wasn't he driving the 40 at one point?
So, yeah, he did drive the 40 from 1998 to 2005, the 40 Coors Light.
Yes, that's what I remember him. Okay.
91 to 97, he drove the number 4 Kodak, and he won the Daytona 500 twice in that car.
Wow.
So, I'm going to take that off now. Love you, Dad.
That's for you, Dad.
Yep. So, question for you.
Yes.
Who has won the most races?
Oh, I forgot about our trivia thing we were going to start doing. Damn it.
It's all good.
Reminded me.
All right. Who has won the most races in a number 5 car?
Oh, number 5 car. All right. There's 2 guys that come to my mind. One, just because of current bias and how much he's won. And the only other one that I can think of that drove the 5 is Terry Labonte. I don't know that he won a lot because he had all those other guys winning in that time frame too with him. All right, I'll go Kyle Larson.
All right, so you were on the 2 most likely. Terry Labonte is the person that's won the most.
Okay, all right.
He is currently number 1 in the number 5 car with 18 wins. However, Kyle Larson is, I believe, at 16, so he's coming up fast. Won't be standing long.
Labonte had 18 wins. I didn't realize he had won that much.
Yep.
I mean, I knew he had good finishes. I just felt like during that time it was always Gordon, like something like those guys. Like I just never remember the 5 winning that much. 18, huh? Good deal.
And other winners in the 5 car, Jeff Bodine with 7, Casey Kane had 6, and Mark Martin had 5 wins in the 5 car.
Casey Kane. Oh, that's right. He drove the 5 after the 9, right?
Yep.
Or was that before the 9? Did he leave them and go to Hendricks, or did he leave Hendricks and go to Dodge?
I honestly don't know.
Casey Kane.
Don't know.
And who was the other one?
Mark Martin.
Oh, he did 1 year, right, with Hendricks?
Well, it must have been more than 1 year because he had 5 wins.
Oh, okay. No, maybe he did 2 years. Okay, all right.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about Martin. I always remember the Terry Labonte. Was it Frosted Flakes? No, not Frosted Flakes. It
Kellogg's.
was Kellogg's, right? It was. Okay, I remember it was cereal.
So I believe in 1996 when he won the Cup Series, it was the Kellogg's number 5.
Okay. I always remember the cereal. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, wow, that's a good one. I like that. What was the first one you asked me when we did the thing? You have that one still, or do you remember it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So who is the only driver to win a championship in the 2 car?
That's right. It's 2 car. That's right. And you told me, and I've already forgotten it.
So who was it?
Who was it?
It was Brad Keselowski.
Keselowski. That's right. I remember you telling me last week. I could not remember. I keep forgetting. Like Brad Keselowski.
So Brad Keselowski won the 1 and only championship in the 2 car.
I think I said Rusty. I thought it would be Rusty Wallace. That's
you would think it would be Rusty, but Rusty got his 1 championship in 1988, driving the 27 Kodiak.
You told me that exact thing.
And then he went to the 2 car after that and finished his career in the 2 car.
That's crazy, man. Did guys, and yet you've been following us a lot longer. I mean, I know I'm older, I believe, than you are, but you followed NASCAR for longer. Was there as many changes as there are today back then? I feel like when I watched it, those guys stayed in those cars. It felt like until they were done. Like, okay, I'm retiring. Dale Jarrett in the '88, but also I believe Dale Jarrett drove something else before the '88, right? Or was it just a change of the UPS sponsorship?
I want to say the '88 was like an interstate battery, but I'm drawing a blank.
Okay. Because what did Dale Jarrett drive before that?
I don't know
what team he was on that.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I didn't really know the teams back then. I
Yeah.
remember the numbers and I remember the sponsors, and the sponsors were a lot easier because the sponsors were so consistent.
Yes, they sponsored every race. It was
every race,
7 races, and this guy for whatever.
And it was years. Like you knew that Kellogg's was going to be on the 5. You knew that the 6 was going to be on Valvoline was going to be on the 6. Right. And it was predictable. And you got custom, you got a custom with the colors. You knew DuPont was going to be the 24.
Became a real thing in NASCAR at that point.
Right.
Yeah. Now no longer. Man. That's crazy.
There's no more Rainbow Warriors, right?
No. Lowe's and the 48. Although I feel like the 48 has one of the better sponsorship. I feel like they're always the same. I can't think of the name of the sponsor right now, but I feel like he's always has the same one on the car compared to what everybody else does. Hamlin, my goodness, man. He couldn't get a damn sponsor this year. Progressive finally jumped on and they won a race. I was so happy with that. I was like, whoa. Seems like it's odd to me too with this and I know we took this one long, but
no, you're good.
Hamlin has no problems getting sponsorship 2311.
Oh, he's not okay. So the 48's got Ally right now, which is pretty consistent. I think they're every race.
Like they're every race, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like you always see that little purple there. So, but Hamlin can't seem to. The Joe Gibbs doesn't seem to be able to get sponsorship like 2311. I mean, every one of those cars, even Herbst has got like a full sponsorship this year.
So I was looking that up a little bit because we had asked that question like maybe week 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a clear answer, but I have a feeling that they are selling off partial sponsorships because I think they're making more money off of them.
Okay.
So in order to sponsor a car per race, it averages between 350 and 500,000. And it goes up
for the hood or just to be anywhere
to be the main sponsor of the car.
Okay.
So for instance, Progressive, right? They had the race yesterday. You got Denny Hamlin, a premier driver on a premier team. You're probably paying $500,000 for that one race. But I'm imagining if Progressive wants to do the whole year, they're probably going to negotiate that down. So if you've got a driver where you can sell every race, you might make more money by, partitioning them off so you have 4 sponsors that year.
Yeah, it was just odd to me, though, that Hamlin didn't have a full slate of sponsors going into the year. Like, I would feel like, Hamlin's, Larson's, Elliott's, like those guys would not be the ones that were like trying to find a sponsorship deal for. Like that's what kind of to me like was like really he needs because I think he had everything covered except for the races that Progressive picked up. I think it was 7 or 8. So it wasn't like he had a lot, but it was just odd to me that this guy's been in the playoffs every year, almost to the championship 4, more than not. And he's struggling for sponsorship, but yet his team, 2311, they're good.
Right. Well, there's a lot of self-sponsorship too. Like how often do we see quote unquote Hendrick's car?
Yeah.
And then
the Wood Brothers Ford, right? They're always sponsored by that Ford manufacturing.
So now that it's no longer Stuart Haas, they've just got Haas, but it's just the Haas car. But I guess it's the business, but still. And then what's another one that I've seen? Hendricks is the one you see the most often.
Yeah, because they do the same thing with the car. They do Raj Caruth.
Mm-hmm.
Hendricks is the one that does Raj Caruth and trucks. They have at least one in every series.
Menards.
Yeah.
So I believe Menards is somewhat involved with Penske, are they not?
I feel like the 12 or the 2 usually has Menards.
Well, and it's not only there; it's in other.
And then in the other series, always
somebody's got Menards on all the time, and you got to figure out which
I
one it is.
I always know there's at least one truck or one Xfinity, but I feel like in Cup, the 12 or the 2 might have it if it's not anywhere else, or at least somewhere on their car.
Right. All right. So you can find me at NoldOut87 on X. And you can find me,
You're doing a better job on X, by the way, too, man.
Yes, I look at it every once in a while.
You even like the photo I sent out. I was like, Whoa, this guy's actually there. Okay, all right.
You know, X can be very toxic if you let it be. So
no,
I try,
yes.
I try not to get onto the feed too much. But
I'm having a blast with Marlins right now.
oh, the Dolphins Twitter is so negative.
Oh no, yeah, stay away from that. Stay away.
Yeah, it's so negative.
Yeah, I do Marlins right now. I'm like, man, 3-1. They're 3-1. There's 158 games to go. Sit in first place.
It's never going to get any better than this.
Loving it right now, man.
Enjoy it.
All right, for me, it's Stanley Media _11 on X, Stanley Media House everywhere else, Stanley Media House Network on YouTube and on Facebook. And Spencer, I want to thank you for your time today, man. I know we went a little long, so I apologize for holding you up. And also, can I tell them what we discussed?
Yeah, why not?
In 2 weeks, we will start going live after the race. After the race, we will go live. There will be weekends where that will not happen, but more weekends than not, we will go live after the Cup Series race finishes. Not after each race. After the Cup Series race finishes, we will go live right here on the Stanley Media House Network. Talking racing now. Spencer, thank you for your time, my friend.
All right.
And I want to thank everybody that tuned in on X, on Twitch, on Facebook, on YouTube. Make sure anybody want to talk some racing, some NASCAR, let them know where to come here on the Stanley Media House Network. Until next week, we will be here Monday, 7 p.m. next week. It'll be Darlington. We will be here 7 p. to talk NASCAR. Until then, see ya.